by ICE. 14. The press is trying to create a victim out of this punk. The American Criminal Liberties Union is trying to suggest to us that this is a First Amendment issue. I'm well aware of First Amendment issues. This is not that. Some idiot said, I'm a libertarian, so, I'm not really good with this. Oh, okay. You're a libertarian. You're not really good with this. But it's too bad you don't understand the First Amendment, not even a little bit. Over at the New York Post, they apparently do. Chris Nessie writes, the Columbia University grad taken into custody by federal immigration officials Saturday is a Palestinian former student, so there you go, he's trespassing, and known campus agitator. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents aided a Columbia-owned apartment inhabited by Mahmoud Khalil, who fronts a radical group, Columbia United Apartheid Divest, CUAD, which sympathizes with terror groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and calls for the end of Western civilization. In other words, this is a terrorist front group. It's a propaganda operation. If I had to guess, it's funded by, at least in part, Qatar, Iran, all that. According to Lincoln, Khalil briefly served as a political affairs officer with UNRWA, the UN agency that supports Palestinian refugees, actually, to more accurately put it, New York Post, that supports the Hamas terrorists, which was stripped of tens of millions in federal funding after an explosive report that some of its members took part in the October 7 Hamas attack against Israel, in which 1,200 people were killed. Khalil and his group, CUAD, been at the forefront of chaotic and at times violent campus protests at Columbia University and Barnard College. See, that's not First Amendment for the geniuses out there, dating back to at least last spring, which have resulted in injuries, damage to buildings, and have struck fear into the hearts of Jewish students and faculty. What else do we know about this lowlife? After receiving his undergraduate degree in Beirut, Khalil, born in Syria in 1995, enrolled at Columbia, where he earned his graduate degree at the School of International Public Affairs in December, was a driving force behind many of the anti-Israel protests, building takeovers, and encampments that have plagued the school for more than a year. I'm a libertarian, not First Amendment. No, it's not, morons. According to his lawyer, Amy Greer, Khalil is a permanent U.S. resident with a green card. Green card, that's trouble for him. He served as CUADS, that's the group, lead negotiator with the school's administration on numerous occasions, including during last spring's Gaza Solidarity encampment, during which scores of tents were erected on the Ivy League school's campus lawn. At least had him for trespassing, but for this guy, he got him for more. He was suspended from Columbia last April for taking part in the demonstrations, but it was reversed the next day due to lack of evidence.
All right, I'll talk. JC banned me from her chat, and I haven't been going there, trolling or otherwise. Called Wiggin on the phone, and he's cloning me in there, right? And then I did. So I'm not welcome there, and now she's begging me to come there to debate them. Why am I going to go to a fucking foreigner's chat to debate another foreigner about my country? Come up here, JC, and bring that fucker up here with you. But right now, listen to Mark Levin, because this shit is important. Wiggin, I'll get him to go up on JC's panel. I make him jump constantly. This whole fuck you, Wiggin. You fucking punk. I'd fucking drive you.
He didn't protest what's going on in Syria, did he? The minorities are being butchered. Over 1,000 people killed, families, innocent citizens, including Christians, by the way. You don't see any activity on these campuses, do you? Protesting what Islamic terrorists are doing? No, you don't. Why is that? We know why that is. Because they're supporting Hamas and other terrorist operations. That's what these protests are all about. It's not for free speech or equal rights or some kind of benefit or what took place God knows how many years. No. This is a forward movement funded by the enemy, populated by the enemy, promoted by the enemy to take down our country. And I want to know why we're dealing with Qatar. I think it's about time that the American media and others ask this question. Who does Qatar own? Who is Qatar giving money to? What institutions has it bought? You want to hear really a bad one? I mean, it's public record. They gave millions of dollars, Mr. Producer. This is going to make you sick. To the Medal of Honor organization that's building a facility for a monument for Medal of Honor recipients. You believe that? I wonder how many Medal of Honor recipients who fought in the Middle East think that's a good idea. They're not the only one. They have ownership stakes in American professional basketball, American professional ice hockey. This is how they try and mainstream their terrorism. In other words, they try and show one face to America and Europe and another face to the enemy. They gave $1.8 billion to Hamas. That funding stream only stopped a few months ago. They gave a safe haven to 5 of Hamas's leaders, the billionaires who led Hamas, until a few months ago. They're involved in negotiations on the release of the hostages while trashing Israel. They're aligned with Iran. They're aligned with the terrorists who took over Syria from the terrorists who ran Syria. We're now slaughtering non-Muslims.
I got to walk to the store to get something. So I'm going to be gone for...
No objection from anybody.
Could be an hour. But I'll be back.
I'll be right back.
If that goes silent, that's on their end. So if you hear silence, you got the side chat if you want. And then I'll see it when I get back. I don't even want to tell you what's on my mind right now. I'm just going to go for a walk this anger off, and I'll be back. Because JC, you and Wiggin, both of you, I'd just like to fucking smack you right in the head. Ignorant motherfucker begging me to come to your chat when you kicked me out. That was lie, so I won't come back. Oh, he'll be back. He lied. No. Ain't go back to Wiggins' chat either. I had that fucker have a wrench in here that one day. Buddy fucker. Sick of it.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting.
Siding with that fucking idiot JC over me, Wiggin is. I got to go walk it off. Side chat is open. And if their technology knocks them off the radio, I turn your music on.
Shop the all-new Murano at NissanUSA.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, screens, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting Wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Making sense of the media. News media is attacking him because this is what happens when you're a Republican. It's planned. Dave 9 to noon. Yeah, our news media. Billy. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Jim Rome takes on sports
I've been doing this show for decades and decades and decades.
with rapid fire takes,
Learn how to stop it, learn how to run it, or at least make a good argument. I don't even like to play. I've never fought so hard to defend something I don't like.
scorching debates.
You can beef about anything you want. Why are you pushing me?
He's the spitfire of sports smack.
Just so you all know, this is no one-off. This is what we're going to get every single day. Let's go, John! Let's go!
The Jim Rome Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook, because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS. SIDS? You know, sudden infant death syndrome. Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov, sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Peace of mind. Gold has been a valued investment for thousands of years. It's why I put my own money into things like gold with Advantage Gold, because I believe in diversification. Call 800-900-8000. Join me in this investment strategy. Folks, when the stock market has its ups and downs, gold remains a rock-solid asset. It's not just a hedge. It can be a proven safe haven for your hard-earned money. You're looking to help secure your financial future. Now's the time to diversify, to add gold to your portfolio. Don't wait until it's too late. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today. They're the experts I trust, and they'll walk you through everything step by step. Call 800-900-8000 right now. Take steps to control your future. That's 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Greatly appreciated. Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of the road. Because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
We're here with our friend, Eric Trump. Eric Trump, how you doing, brother?
How are you, Mark? It's great to be on.
I'm doing great. Thank you. Your dad's doing great. And I'm sure your family's doing great. And Eric Trump, you're doing great. You decided to take on Capital One. Explain to the American people what's going on there.
I did on Friday to Capital One. You know, Mark, in 2021 we had over 300 accounts at Capital One, and I'll never forget. I got a call from one of our guys in the office, and Eric is shutting down all our accounts. I go, what do you mean they're shutting down all our accounts? We've banked with Capital One for well over a decade. North Fork Bank before that, which they acquired. Capital One acquired North Fork. We had been with them for years and years before that. I'm sitting there saying, you know, between the two banks, we were almost there for 15, 20 years. What do you mean they're shutting us down? What do we do? I know these are golf courses. These are residential buildings. Nope. They've effectively given us notice that, you close the accounts. Otherwise, they're going to forcefully close the account, send you a check with whatever's in them. And I'm sitting there saying, Mark, I have thousands of employees, right? I mean, it's over 300 bank accounts. These are residential buildings, commercial buildings, right? You have waiters and waitresses, you have housekeepers, you have engineers, you have, caddies, you have, go through the list, right? Golf clubs and stores and little escrow accounts and big commercial buildings and thousands and thousands of imports every day. Tenants pay, rent into an account and obviously you pay that rent out to the employees and for taxes and everything else. And, they pulled the rug out from under us, and they did so for one reason, because we had the last name Trump. That was the only common denominator. None of those entities were politically affiliated. They weren't, I mean, the vast majority of them, again, were standalone entities. Some of those entities we didn't even own. Properties that we managed for third parties. It didn't matter. They were indiscriminate. They just wanted to hurt Trump, and they wanted to cancel us, and they wanted to delete us. And I'll never forget how much damage that caused. And so yesterday, or I'm sorry, Friday, I saw the major lawsuit against them. I mean, it violates everything that we should be as Americans. You go on Capital One's, their pages are oaths to our consumers, are oaths to our customers that will be fair, will be great, will be important. I mean, they've got all this beautiful language about how stand up they are, and they didn't give a damn about thousands of employees. They didn't give a damn about real breathing, living operational assets. Again, all they saw was the Trump name, and all they wanted to do was to wipe us out. And again, the damage that does to a business is unthinkable. And so it's just one of 1,000 ways, Mark, that they put us totally under siege. But this can't happen in America, and tremendous damage was caused, and I'm going to hold the bank accountable.
Well, I think that's great. And I think one of the reasons this is important that you're here is because we have millions of listeners. I suspect a percentage of the millions of listeners, all are customers of Capital One. There's an awful lot of banks out there. You get to choose which bank you want to work with and which bank you don't. And if Capital One had a problem with Trump because it's Trump, then it had a problem with millions of us who supported Donald Trump for president of the United States. So I think it's very important for people to understand that you can speak with your money too.
Yeah, and Mark, at some point I should probably put out a list of the good ones and the bad ones. I'll tell you, there's going to be other ones that follow. I'll tell you, Chase is one of the ones that was a bad one as well. They did horrible things. And First Republic Bank, which merged into Chase, a couple of years ago, they were also part of that cancel culture wave. And so, you've got to be very, very careful. And the sad thing, Mark, is if it can't happen to us, that's got a lot of zeros on a balance sheet, massive company. A little guy doesn't stand a chance. I mean, if they want to cancel you, not only will they cancel you, but by canceling you, they'll destroy your business. I mean, imagine a scenario where you can't pay your employees. Imagine a scenario where you can't receive funds from guests checking into a hotel at 11 o'clock at night because there's no one to process the payments. There's nowhere for it to go. You're gone, right? That shuts down businesses. That bankrupts companies, right? I mean, we're fortunate. We're well established. We're big. But they'll kill the little guy, and they'll do so because they don't like the fact that somebody wears a hat that says "Make America Great Again." That they don't like the fact that they have a big, beautiful American flag hanging off their back porch. How is that America? How is that freedom of speech? How is that freedom to exercise a vote for the person that you otherwise think is the best to steer a country? It's not. I mean, it's horrible, and it can't happen in the United States of America. We're a third world country when this kind of thing happens, and so I'm going to hold Capital One accountable, and I'm going to hold other banks accountable. And again, as I said before, there's more to come.
Here's what the Republicans for you, obviously. Now, the inconvenience of something like this is unbelievable too. Stop payment on bills, and they got to move accounts around, and even change the text and all the rest of it. It has been trouble and convenience, but it seems to me very simple. When a corporatist entity decides that it wants to play politics, I think we should engage. So they want to play politics.
Mark, think how much bigger it is for a corporate entity, right? If I had to change a personal account, that's a little bit. Listen, it's horrible and it's wrong and it's inconvenient and it's all those things, right? And it's damaging as hell. But think about when you're canceling bank accounts that are otherwise subject to loan agreements, right? It puts you in default of your mortgages on buildings that could be hundreds of millions of dollars in value. Think about having a building, a commercial building that has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tenants in them, and they have ACA payments. They have direct deposit payments every single month, and all of a sudden, a bank account just gets shut in the middle of the night. And those payments aren't showing up. They're getting lost in cyberspace. I mean, think about that. And then think about every housekeeper you have in those buildings. And think about all the people that you have working at the front desk, all the security officers, all the janitors in the middle of the night. I mean, everybody that surrounds those buildings, the engineers. I could go on and on and on. And then congratulations. There's no one to pay them. Their checks stop showing up. And And then you multiply that one building and you multiply that times 300 different accounts, all with hundreds and hundreds of permutations. I can't tell you the damage that causes, right? And again, the only common denominator, we had some accounts for projects that we simply managed that we didn't even have ownership over, buildings that we don't own, but we manage for third parties. It didn't make a damn difference to them. They still wanted them canceled. They wanted to take them down. And why? These weren't political entities. These were beautiful operational businesses that had been in their portfolio, for over 10 years in many cases. Mark, it's sad and it's disgusting. Again, it can't happen.
Well, if you expand your litigation, let us know, because I want the nation to know too. Right now, it's Capital One. Capital One is the one that cut off the Trump organization and management of other companies from the banks. Thank you, Eric. God bless, brother. Take care.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or consumercellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Media station, making sense of the news. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. A terrifying experience for a local mom leads to the arrest of a Georgia man who police say tried to kidnap her toddler from a restaurant at Loudon Station. The sheriff's office says 34-year-old Shane Bergeron grabbed the toddler at a restaurant around 7:30 last night. The mother was able to take the child back. Bergeron was arrested at a nearby hotel and charged with abduction. A federal judge rules the Trump administration cannot deport a former Columbia University student taken into custody by ICE for allegedly aligning with Hamas until a court finishes hearing a legal challenge. President Trump said the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil, who organized the university's pro-Palestinian protests, will be the first of many. Up next, traffic and weather.
Blowing out your birthday candles should be easy, but if you have undiagnosed COPD, you may find yourself short of breath. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years to your life. If you have symptoms like wheezing or chronic cough, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. Cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite show. Get the day's top headline and access our podcast archive. All with the new WMAL app.
This is for you.
Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Parent-teacher conferences can be tricky. I know, I'm a father of 3, but I've come to learn that they can be invaluable, not just academically, but in getting to know your kid as a whole person. Think about it. They spend more waking time at school than they do at home with you. School is a big part of their lives. So the experts we talked to recommended approaching any conversation with your child's teacher as curious, not furious. Remember, no teacher goes into this profession for the money and the glory, said award-winning journalist and author Jennifer Brahaney Wallace. Teachers are there because they have a mission, she said, and that mission is to invest in your child. So meet them there with that assumption. And just like any important conversation in your life, you should try to do more listening than talking. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Making sense of your money, the state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
In Colonnades, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The kind of thing I pay attention to. I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. The Putting on Air podcast is half redneck.
Boss.
Ain't you fancy for being a fan? Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Making sense of your world. Again, News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Thanks for taking my call. Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of social media. Because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Heartless, well, thunder on the right. Call in now. 877-381-3811.
Minute. A federal judge in Manhattan, appointed by Barack Obama, who else, blocked the removal of ABC News calls this guy a Palestinian activist. He's no Palestinian activist. You know, it's an amazing thing. The media say there's a difference between the Hamas terrorists and the Palestinians. And I've told you this over and over again since October 7th. And yet when it comes to the Hamas supporters, those funded to promote activists on behalf of Hamas and Hezbollah and the terrorists, they call them Palestinian activists. It's sick because the media suck. Judge blocks removal of Palestinian activist who was detained at Columbia University. He's no longer a student. He was an activist promoting Hamas, Hezbollah, and terrorism in this country. He's on a green card. You're on a green card, you're in America, you have to actually behave or you can be deported. The federal judge has blocked the removal of a quote-unquote Palestinian activist from the United States while weighing a petition challenging his arrest. Mahmoud Khalil, I'm telling you, if we can't get rid of these people, it's over. We can't get rid of these people, it's over. And I want to thank again John Roberts and his sidekick, Barrett, for at least for now giving so much power to a federal district judge. So when we have elections, you know, we now have effectively a judicial tyranny. That's what's going on here. And until the judiciary fixes itself, it will remain a judicial tyranny. In Israel, they have a judicial tyranny that gets stronger and stronger and stronger. In our country, the originalists usually step up. We thought Roberts and Barrett were originalists. Apparently not. So it can't get fixed unless they fix it. Or unless Congress is able to cobble together enough votes, including a supermajority in the Senate, which it's not going to restrict the jurisdiction of these district courts, which they created. Mahmoud Khalil was arrested by ICE at Columbia University over the weekend. He's not even a student. What's he doing there? Despite having a green card, they said. A green card isn't a ticket to do whatever you want. Sparking an outcry from civil rights groups. This is the way it's written. The vast majority of Americans support this. An outcry from civil rights groups. They mean radical left-wing organizations, including those that promote the same thing that this piece of crap promotes. They filed a habeas corpus petition challenging his arrest. This is normal procedure for the left-wing Democrat lawyers. To reserve the court's jurisdiction pending a ruling on the petition, petitioners shall not be removed from the United States unless and until the court orders otherwise, said Judge Jesse Furman. Now, it's interesting they don't mention that Jesse Furman was appointed by Obama. They never mention when these guys are appointed by Biden or Obama or Clinton. Never. ICE agents arrested Khalil, a leader in the Manhattan University's encampment movement. More than the encampment movement, you a-holes. Can't you ever tell the truth? on Saturday night, claiming his student visa had been revoked. Not even a student now. However, Khalil is in the United States on a green card and not a student visa. Despite informing agents about his legal status, ICE detained him. So what? A green card doesn't give you carte blanche. Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said Khalil is a former Columbia graduate student, was arrested by ICE in support of President Trump's executive orders prohibiting anti-Semitism. Used to be, ladies and gentlemen, the civil liberties movement fought people who were spreading violence against Jews or violence against any minorities. They used to be out there talking about hate crimes. Not now, because it's Jews. It's okay. Khalil led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization, McLaughlin said in a statement. It's funny, they have to have the DHS spokesperson mention that. But ABC News didn't report it as news. ICE and the Department of State are committed to enforcing President Trump's order. But here, Osni, one of the lawyers representing Khalil, called his client's alleged alignment with Hamas false and preposterous. It's neither false nor preposterous. His attorneys filed a habeas corpus petition on his behalf, challenging the validity of his arrest and detention. I wonder who's paying for these lawyers. Can we find out who's paying for these lawyers? Yes. Then they tell us about the event. His wife went upstairs to retrieve his immigration documents that shows he's a lawful permanent resident, which appeared to surprise the agents, according to the filing. In other words, to the wife. She handed the documents to the agent who was talking to someone on the phone. The agent looked confused when he saw the documents and said, "Here's a green card." Again, these are words of the wife. However, the agent still proceeded to detain Khalil, did not give his wife any information at all as to how to find out where her husband will be taken, on what grounds. Well, why would they? They're arresting him, not her. They don't have to tell her a damn thing. Yeah, it is amazing to me. The media are all in for Hamas, Hezbollah, their front groups, CARE, Students for Justice in Palestine, and all that. They're all in. They're all in. ICE arrest and detention of Mahmoud follows the U.S. government's open repression of student activism and political speech. Jewish students running into the library, locking themselves in, locking their dorm doors, not leaving their dormitories. Jewish students physically abused. Jewish stars ripped from their necks. Counter-protesters with Israeli flags or Star of David's on flags attacked. The most hate crimes committed in this country, over 50% against a tiny population, the Jews, especially since we've had open borders. And look how the media conducted themselves. And look how this judge conducts himself. A Jewish judge, by the way. Of course, gives cover to the anti-Semites. The Council on American Islamic Relations, quote, the nation's largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy group, who says they do, called for Khalil's release. Now, this is a group founded by Hamas operatives in a hotel outside Philadelphia airport that was bugged by the FBI. The records were released. They were in open court. Funding by the Homeland Foundation. That is terrorism money. And so ABC quotes them without even mentioning who they are. The Council on American Islamic Relations is effectively the neo-Nazis of the left, of the Islamist movement. Department of Homeland Security's lawless decision, and they go on. So there's CARE. Like I say, I wonder who's paying for these lawyers. I wonder. Encourage the administration, keep at it. Keep at it. It's just if our legal system cannot function properly to truly protect our constitutional rights. The constitutional rights of the people who are being targeted. Khalil wasn't targeted. He was targeting Jews. He was targeting innocent civilians, Jews, on the campus of Columbia University. We all saw it. He was instigating riotous behavior. That's what he was doing. There are other criminal laws that can be applied even to U.S. citizens who conduct themselves this way. So I would encourage Pam Bondi, whoever's in charge of the criminal division, Cash Patel over at the FBI, and whoever the acting U.S. attorney is, in the Southern District in New York, when they're not going after Mayor Adams, to go dig up these laws. There's at least 2 of them, probably more, existing federal criminal statutes that can be used against this guy. If he doesn't want to just be deported, then he can be prosecuted. That's my view. Donald Trump, I stand with Donald Trump, who just a few years ago, in his first term as president, June 9, 2017, called out Qatar. Called out Qatar to end its funding for terrorism, something I've been talking about now for years, something I've done an entire show on twice, something I talk about on radio in The Blaze. But President Trump himself, I stand on his shoulders when he calls out Qatar. June 9th, 2017, hat tip, memory, MEMRI, outstandingsite.org. Got one go. I addressed a summit of more than 50 Arab and Muslim leaders, a unique meeting in the history of nations, where key players in the region agreed to stop supporting terrorism, whether it be financial, military, or even moral support. The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road, or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding and its extremist ideology in terms of funding. I want to call on all of the nations to stop immediately supporting terrorism, financial, military, or even moral support. I second that. And Donald Trump was on to Qatar before I was, so good for him. Good for him. And Qatar is there in the Middle East right now. You know, Joe Biden extended, I think it was for 10 years, if I recollect, the lease on that military base in Qatar. Why do we have a military base in Qatar? We could put it anywhere. Why is it in Qatar? We literally have a military base in Qatar while Qatar is funding Hamas, or was, protecting its leadership and aligned with Iran. I mean, to be truthful about this, I'd rather have a military base in Saudi Arabia than Qatar, because Saudi Arabia hates Iran. Saudi Arabia has not funded Hamas. Hey, look, I'm no Saudi Arabia fan either, America. I think I'm one of the few hosts who actually comes on here and calls a spade a spade. I really am. I just got to put a wet finger in the air and figure out what they think they should say. That's not me. I've been calling out Qatar for years. I've been calling out Saudi Arabia for years. But in this respect, why do we have a military base? Why did Biden extend it for 10 years? Will somebody tell me that? What's that all about? Because all these politicians are on Qatar's payroll. That's what it's all about. Or they want to be on Qatar's payroll. That's the truth. If Qatar didn't have money, nobody give it crap. Could care less. But you look at a country like Bahrain. Bahrain doesn't support terrorism. You look at a country like the UAE. These are tiny countries, but very wealthy. They don't support terrorism. But Qatar does. It's disgusting. And by the way, members of the media have been feted by Qatar, taken junkets, paid for by Qatar, have been brought to Qatar, have played golf in Qatar. The media too. You know, Politico was on the take by the U.S. government, USA, right? Other organizations too. Media organizations. The media organizations and reporters. You know, Al Jazeera is the state-owned, state-run media propaganda mouth for Qatar. Pushing its anti-Semitism, pushing its anti-Americanism. Constantly. That's our ally? Seriously? We need to get this right. I'll be right back.
What? News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Making sense of the headlines. Making sense of your world. Illuminating the issues every day. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Let's say it out loud here. Making sense of the news.
On the inner loop headed from 123 to the 270 spur and more delays from 270 headed towards New Hampshire Avenue. Earlier crash on the inner loop before Georgia Avenue cleared and more delays on the inner loop to College Park. Outer loop still a slow go from the Eisenhower Avenue connector to the Wilson Bridge. In Alexandria, northbound on Route 1 at North Kings Highway, accident still blocks the center lane. In the district, 12th Street is still closed between the freeway and D Street. That due to police activity. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL still much sun forecast.
Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 40. Tomorrow, sunny with highs in the mid to lower 70s.
Making sense of the media.
The news media is attacking him because this is what happens when you're a Republican.
This plan, weekday 9 to noon.
Yeah, our news media, really.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Making sense of Washington.
So it happened again? Is that what you're telling me? Yet another guest of this program now has a job in the Trump administration.
Vince Colonnese, days 3 to 6 p.m.
The Trump transition team spending a lot of time on WMAL.com looking at all of the guests who have appeared on this program, which does bring a smile to my face. I do like that good people are getting good jobs.
Vince Colonnese, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration. diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
Oh, it's awful, huh?
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
You know, Americans love using their credit cards, one of the most secure and hassle-free ways to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com, guardyourcard.com, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Making sense of your world.
There are a lot of things that really tick me off. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of me. Because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Hey, do all my conservative friends in conservative talk radio agree with me about Qatar? Do they, Mr. Producer? They're awfully quiet, aren't they? Why? My brothers and sisters on TV? Hello? Hello? I notice even liberal sites, like Mediocreite. Dan Abrams, not a word. Silence. The Sludge Report, nothing. Silence. Shh. Don't talk about Qatar. You might upset the Democrats. You might upset the Republicans. Shh. You might upset broadcasters and broadcast companies. Shh. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, but we're patriots here. There's a concerted effort to bring manufacturing back to America, to correct our trade deficit and grow our economy. You know what I have to say to that? It's about time the rest of the country catches up to Allegiance Flag Supply. That's right, Allegiance Flag Supply has been making the highest quality American flags in the world, hands down, in Charleston, South Carolina, since they started in a garage in 2018. The owners of Allegiance weren't out to make a fortune. They just wanted the American flags that they fly from their homes to be made in America. I fly an American flag that Allegiance Flag Supply manufactured. You should too. It's a flag that was reverently crafted by people who love this country and the brave men and women who defend it. You're not only proud to fly the flag, you're proud to fly that flag. I encourage you to visit showallegiance.com. That's the site, showallegiance.com. Experience the craftsmanship of an American-made flag. Again, go to showallegiance.com. You'll save $35 right off the top off your complete flag set. Folks, get your American-made American flag. I'm telling you, you're going to be proud as hell. Proud as hell. Showallegiance.com. That's showallegiance.com. For American flags made by Americans for Americans. Showallegiance.com. Rush over there during the break. We'll be right back.
WMAL. Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. I love listening to you. Making sense of it.
What would you give for a child you loved? Make their wish come true.
to help them fight a critical illness. Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Blowing out your birthday candles should be easy, but if you have undiagnosed COPD, you may find yourself short of breath. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years to your life. If you have symptoms like wheezing or chronic cough, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
So many of you have dreams in your life and you don't go touch them. You've got to begin to touch your dreams.
It's time to get laser focused on peak performance.
I'm going to give you very unique habits that I do on a daily basis. Say no. Have deadlines in your life. Go to work.
And become the best version of you.
Take a day and serve that mission.
The Ed Milet Show.
Max out.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their back in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News now.
WMAL News at 7. I'm Heather Curtis. DC's financial problems may be getting much worse. The proposed stopgap spending bill being considered to keep the government open would force the district to revert back to its 2024 budget, along with all federal agencies. That would lead to $1 billion in cuts, including $67 million for police.
It is contrary to the state Republican goal of improving public safety, law, and order in the nation's capital, and would in fact have the opposite effect.
Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton has introduced an amendment to fix it. House Republicans say the continuing resolution treats D.C. like it does every federal agency. Stocks plunged on fears that a global trade war will send the U.S. into a recession. The Dow closed down 890 points. The NASDAQ lower by 729.
This weekend, President Trump refused to rule out the U.S. entering into a recession this year, telling Fox News,
"There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big."
But in the meantime, his Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said there's going to be no recession in America.
Fox's Hillary Barsky, a White House spokesperson, saying tonight that industry leaders have responded to President Trump's election with trillions in investment commitments. Black Lives Matter Plaza is being transformed today, with DC's mayor insisting it was her decision, not a funding threat from a GOP lawmaker.
I've made that decision because it's important to me to focus on the big issues affecting the district.
Mayor Muriel Bowser telling MSNBC's Saturday with Jonathan Capehart she has bigger battles on her hands
when we need to be talking about the workforce that is being disrupted and disrupting how we support local Washington.
As the city faces a $1 billion hole in the D.C. budget tied to federal worker job losses. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
As D.C. fights its ever-growing rat problem, another problem is developing.
Rat poison is killing not just the rats, but other wildlife, and in some cases, pets as well. A D.C. rescue center that cares for wildlife reports it seeing more and more sick squirrels, birds, and other animals brought in, more than 100 in one 9-month period that were either dead or so sick they had to be euthanized. 85% of them tested positive for rat poison. Local veterinarians say they see poisoned pets all the time, and those that can be saved often require care that runs into thousands of dollars. Wildlife advocates say proper trash storage is a better way of dealing with rats. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The latest in the search for a missing Chantilly woman, a University of Pittsburgh student who disappeared on a spring break trip to the Dominican Republic last Thursday. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office has filed for a yellow notice, a worldwide police alert for a missing person. A multi-agency, wide-ranging search effort for Sudiksha Kunanki continues. Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares tells Fox News.
There's just so much that we don't know. So the principal thing that you do in a situation like this, the FBI and our partners, the Dominican Republic, Civil Defense and the Dominican Navy, they're searching for it, but they're also collecting as much information, putting together a footprint of exactly what and where she had been
leading up to her disappearance. And closer to home, the Charles County Sheriff's Office is looking for a 61-year-old man who hasn't been seen since leaving his daughter's home to go to a friend's house on March 1st. Robert Norris was reported missing last Tuesday. Traffic and weather next.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. You get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey, y'all. As a growing family, my husband and I love game night, especially when it's Wayfair edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
There's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
An accident now reported on the outer loop of the Beltway before New Hampshire Avenue. That has traffic jam from 95. Inner loop is still slow from the Dulles Toll Road headed towards the 270 spur and from 355 to Georgia Avenue. And still some delays in Alexandria on the outer loop between the Eisenhower Avenue connector and the Wilson Bridge. And in Alexandria, there is still crash activity on the northbound lanes of Route 1 at North Kings Highway in the center lane. Still some slow traffic in the district on DC 295 northbound between the 11th Street Bridge and East Capitol Street and southbound is from Benning Road towards Pennsylvania Avenue. Earlier incident on 12th Street between the freeway and D Street and Southwest cleared, and all lanes have been reopened. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Some scattered clouds and, of course, that late sunset. Temperatures this evening, 48 to 56 degrees. Tomorrow afternoon, looking like our warmest day of the year so far, with temperatures ranging between 70 and 75 degrees. Sunshine. I'm 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
61 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Nondescript building, we've once again made contact with a leader of them.
Hello, American. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811. 877-381-3811. I'm trying to find that article that relates to this audio. It looks like it's behind a paywall. I don't pay these paywalls. If you want me to read it and talk about it on the air and then pay for it, I'm not doing that, Mr. Producer. Now, I know that's not the average reader of these things, but that's just not for me. Let's see here. I'm not sure it's there, but I'll read what I have. Study: Medicaid doled out $1.1 trillion in improper payments over the past decade. $1.1 trillion. You want to see if you can get that, Rich? Okay, thanks, buddy. If we get it, I'll read it to you. $1.1 trillion in the past decade. And so here's Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries, you see, he doesn't care about waste, fraud, and abuse. I explained this at length last week on this program, on Blaze. I explained it at length. My opening statement Sunday night on Fox. They built this whatever you want to call it. And there is no waste, fraud, and abuse as far as they're concerned. Because any effort to rein in spending, rein in the employees, rein in the regulations is an effort to rein in the Democrat Party. You see what I'm saying, America? It's very important to understand this. You know, Karl Marx said in the Communist Manifesto that there'll be a period of despotism, and that's the way it has to be, meaning murder, mayhem, so forth. I'm not saying the Democrats say that, of course, but what they are prepared is a period of chaos, fraud, waste, and abuse. Who cares? The goal here is one-party rule. And you can't have a constitutional republic with one-party rule, can you? You can't have any form of democracy with one-party rule, can you? Not in reality, you can't. And so that's what they're all about. That's why they hate Elon Musk and Donald Trump. That's why they attack these quote-unquote young people. That's why. Because they don't want any chink in the armor of this government within a government that they've created. That's a power base. Now, they're going to try and close the government on Friday. They're going to try and close it and shut it down, which would seem counterintuitive, right? They're the ones always defending every penny of government and every inch of the bureaucracy. But that's just the battle. It's not the war. The battle is they're prepared to shut down the government to win the war. They have the American people turn. The American people insist that government not be cut, even waste, fraud, and abuse. So they view this as their opportunity to create mayhem. And the fact that their entity, their creation, pretty much, will have to suffer a week or two is a battle that's worth losing in order to win the war. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I know you do. I know you do. And so the fact that Medicaid doled out $1.1 trillion in improper payments over the past decade means nothing to them. So what? Well, Mark, doesn't that hurt Medicaid? Of course it does. But they figure they'll raise more taxes, create more debt, more annual deficits. So what? Who cares? Well, it creates more inflation. That's all right. They'll just blame it on everybody else. They're not there to protect you. They're not there to protect your job. They're there to exploit you and exploit your job, especially if you lose it. Especially if you lose it. So here's Hakeem Jeffries in a video message. Actually, yeah. GOP's trying to cut Medicaid. Now, I've explained this at some length to you folks. Friday, with the help of Betsy McCauley, in her wonderful column in the New York Post. People who are qualified to be on Medicaid will continue to get Medicaid. But if you're 29 years old and an able-bodied male who can work, but don't work, haven't sought a job in a period of time, you're expected to work 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week. That's not asking a whole lot, is it, ladies and gentlemen? And if you don't get Medicaid. If you're an illegal alien, you're going to be pushed out of Medicaid too. The Democrats are furious about this. So they want people, they want mothers with 3-4 kids. They want people who are truly poor and destitute. People who are handicapped, as an example, perhaps, and They can't work, whether they're physically or mentally handicapped and so forth, and can't work and need help. They want you to believe that's who's being cut. That's not who's being cut. That's not even what's being proposed. And what's interesting is they haven't even yet proposed what I'm telling you that they want to do. So here's Hakeem Jeffries. This is what the Democrats do. They want to scare the crap out of you. Cut 7, go.
We have them on the run in terms of health care, particularly as it relates to Medicaid. House Democrats stand on the side of Medicaid and the American people. Republicans are trying to enact the largest cut to Medicaid in American history.
How come he doesn't explain what it is, and how come not a single report, even though this is a video, will come up to him and say, actually, this is what the Republicans are doing. You have a problem with that? Go ahead.
And we need to keep the pressure on them legislatively and in communities all across the country.
This guy's such a lightweight, by the way. He can't even control his own members. Like last Tuesday when they made fools asses of themselves. He can't even control his own members. Go ahead.
With you, we will be able to continue to do that. And we have them on the run with respect to the GOP tax scam.
Have them on the run? What does that even mean? What does he mean, tax scam? President ran on not only maintaining the tax cuts from his first term, but expanding them to tips, to people who are on Social Security, to people who are helping elderly people and others handicapped at home to care for them. And overtime. How's that a tax cut for billionaires? And how's that a tax scam? Again, this entire bloated, massive bureaucracy, the contours of which we don't even know, to be perfectly honest with you, is their edifice. It's their government within a government. This is what they rely on. This is what they need, and they're not going to give it up. And they're not going to start chipping away. They're not going to admit that it's got serious problems, that it loses up to $500 billion a year, according to the government's accountability office, the GAO, not me. $50 to $100 billion in fraud and Social Security every single year. Now we have the Breitbart story, $1.1 trillion in Medicaid over 10 years. You notice they are not partners. They're not even participants in trying to determine waste, fraud, and abuse in order to secure these programs, because they have this entire underground government-related economy, government-related employment, entire underground operation that Elon Musk has bumped into and is now exposing. And they don't want people to know about it, which is why they have the phalanx of Obama, Clinton, and Biden judges, especially the Biden and Obama judges, who are there violating separation of powers in the Constitution, violating the fact that they are district judges, not national judges, issuing all kinds of orders, essentially ambulance chasing lawyers in black robes who want these cases brought to them, who favor these petitioners, cherry picking, doing their bidding. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof and massage leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Want to get some good discounted food and dining options, reliable roadside assistance, preferred credit card offers, or fraud protection? You need to check out AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. No matter what your age is, you can take advantage of the services they provide for either yourself or your family.
That message was for Edward Jam. He asked me in Vegas. That was a nice little walk. I almost feel like I need to take a nap.
Regardless of your age, you can enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Visit amac.us/SRS today to take advantage of this special offer. AMAC's membership is made up of Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom. We're over 2 million members strong and growing. Their mission is simple: protect the interests of all freedom-loving Americans and offer incredible member benefits. From exclusive discounts on travel, insurance, and everyday services to supporting strong representation in Washington, D.C., AMAC's here to make a difference in your life and our nation. Visit amac.us/SRS today to join millions of Americans who believe in backing their mission. That's amac.us/SRS. Join AMAC and become a part of a movement that stands for you.
Come on, Edward Jam. Come on, boy. Come on, bring your GED with you. Billy, did you get your GED? Do I have to show it again? Edward Jam, would you like to see my college ID card?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm Erica, an English major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with a Constitution Minute.
The human soul is made to learn, and the highest things of life are the best things to learn. One of these, it turns out, is the way we govern ourselves, and one of the best examples of that is the Constitution of the United States. It explains what our government should do.
Edward Jam, is Monica like Alicia and laughs at the same joke over and over and over and over?
Unfortunately, most
Edward Jam, and you sent a dick pic to JC. She let that out of the bag.
It's impossible to preserve our liberty if we don't.
Edward Jam, look at Edward Jam. Look, I hope you're looking, Edward Jam.
To learn more and
I hope one of your friends tell you. All right, look at.
Is furnished by Hillsdale College.
Making sense of your world. I agree with everything you're saying. News Talk 105.9.
Back in the day, you couldn't handle that.
What's the best way to wake up?
And I'm not a great, big, strong man. I'm strong, though.
Still going to say how these guys are protecting.
No, I'm not that big, no.
I'm not protecting anything. The stock market crater today. Did you see that, Mr. Producer? This is why I always talk about diversification in a way. Out of your control. It's out of my control, but what's not out of your control is diversification. I'm not even reading a commercial. I'm just telling you, diversification is very, very important. So whether the stock market's way up or way down, it has a minimal impact on me because it'll eventually go up.
There's my signature. You think you can copy it? Go ahead. Oh, what good it'll do you? You're getting caught.
It can still go up, but it's not.
I'd say that strawberry blonde there, Patrick Rowe. Hard to tell in that picture, but I'm a ginger. Strawberry blonde type. Or I was. I don't look like that anymore. I'm 63 years old. That was over 30 years ago.
It doesn't know what to think about tariffs, doesn't know what to do about tariffs. So apparently these Wall Streeters and others are saying, let's get out of the market and let's watch this for a while and see what happens. That's what I suspect is happening. And Donald Trump said, look, there's going to be a little period of this going on. But we're going to have a significant economic growth in the end. Now, I will remind you, apart from this, that it did take Ronald Reagan two and a half years to turn around the Jimmy Carter economy. It took time. We had huge inflation.
That was a deep one.
Very painful period. I can remember interest rates going up to 21%. I could remember my mortgage rate was 11.5%. I'm not saying that's going to happen at all. I'm just pointing something out. So you really had to wring inflation out of the system. You had to tighten the money supply. But the saving grace was Reagan slashed taxes historically lower than any president in history. He slashed them for individuals. He slashed them for corporations.
Rocky, my stream's open for trolling. You can fucking talk about whatever you want.
It was a long period.
Just don't use my mother picture, and don't keep attacking me. You don't do it. Well, others want to.
Years they could deduct it.
That fucker called me. They blocked, then they unblocked. Right? Says he makes his joke about the GED. That looked like a fucking GED to you. Edward's been jammed, Rocky. He said, I don't care what you talk about that dumb fuck all you want. I let Charmy know. Edward Jam, he's not a natural born Canadian. He's an immigrant. He came from Iowa, where the fuck he says he come from. All he does is sit and side chat and harass people about being MAGA. It's not funny. He doesn't make anybody. He makes Monica laugh, but she's dumber than a box of rocks. Does that mean you want me to put it up there, Rocky? Can I put it up on my screen? Because I can still see it, even though nobody else can. There, we'll do that right there. Maybe that'll inspire that little fucker. Well, now, why would I go to JC? She kicked me out and debating them. He's not even American. All right, he's just going to sit there and mealy mouth. He's had a wrench over there. She's protected them in the past. All right, and now she has no show over there, no content. She needs people like me running around in side chat saying things. You know? Brevity is the soul of wit. There's none of your boys have the soul of wit, JC. Now you got Guitar J. You gonna let that fucker sit up there and talk about me? Fuck you.
The money in the bank, the capital that you need for the next year is $25 million. Well, your kids don't have enough cash, liquid assets, most of them, to pay off the death tax, 50%. One point it was 90%. So you lose everything. You work your whole life to pass it on to your family. You lose everything. They lose everything. Why? So the government can have it and hand it out to illegal aliens. It's immoral and it's unjust. Yet, to explain it, you have the Hakeem Jeffries types of, for the billionaires. I'm not even talking about billionaires. Nothing to do with billionaires. Just talking about farmers and small businessmen, wasn't I? The billionaires will figure it out. It doesn't matter. So what Reagan did, he eliminated the death tax. Now, let me tell you the consequence of that, Mr. Producer. I know you're a Mets fan, but you are a New Yorker. George Steinbrenner was able to pass the Yankees on to his son, Junior. Isn't his name George Jr.? You're a Mets fan. Don't you read a newspaper? But he passed it on.
Any Mets fans here? How about you, Randy? Are you a Mets fan?
Massive tax, the death tax. Jack Quinn Cook, when he died, he owned the Redskins at the time. His son desperately tried to keep the team. Desperately tried.
Your mother still is a skank. Your mother still is a skank. And the best you could do is fucking work as a tire washer. That's all you fucking got.
You know the rest of the story. So the family lost their football team, which was very well run, by the way.
Oh, Randy, are you mad? Randy's mad. Are you mad, Randy? I have Snickers with almonds.
I don't care if these people are billionaires or not. Is that a moral thing, do you think, America? So the government can grab the money? So guys...
Randy wants to get timed out or whatever, don't you, Randy?
To give the money to the Stacey Abrams Green New Deal organization? Or condoms for Botswana or whatever? Does that seem fair to you, America? No, of course it's not. And by the way, you've already paid taxes. You've already paid your income taxes. You've already paid your sales taxes. You've already paid your properties taxes. You've already paid your user fees. You've already paid every tax imaginable. And then you die. And they say, okay, that's not enough. That's why Reagan got rid of it.
Hey, Randy, Monica is calling you. Your friend Edward Jam.
The Cook family does not own the rigs. There are literally tens of thousands of small enterprises.
I don't want to meet JC. She's an idiot.
When the parent dies.
She's a fucking moron.
And the paternal and maternal.
Kick me out of her chat. I haven't bothered her in 2 months at least. I might respond to people in chat because you guys keep running your suck fuck. But I haven't been in her chat. Last time I tried to go, I went up on her panel. That's what you got. When I left, she fucking cried. So I'm not going back. I'm not welcome there. And now she begging me to go there. Fuck you, Randy.
That's made in America, not somewhere overseas like China. Folks,
Well, to you, so what, Randy? Keep crying. Keep belly aching. You're looking real good in front of all these people here. What do I have? I have 8 watching me. 2 or 3 are posting.
Women who put care into every stitch because they believe in what that flag stands for.
Don't care what you say, Randy.
But there's nothing like my allegiance flag. It's a real showstopper, the highest quality American flag, period. Right now, when you go to showallegiance.com, that's showallegiance.com, Allegiance Flag Supply.
No, she sits there and protects those people like NEM and AP, Death Row, and who's the other one? About fucking 5 of them. She protects all those little British boys.
In Montgomery County on the inner loop of the Beltway, traffic is slow from
Randy's not coming up here. Fuck Randy. Neither are you, Spanky.
Prince George's County. Outer loop in Oxon.
Foul motherfucker. Fuck you.
Inner loop of the Beltway, Prince George's County, no issues. On the BW Parkway.
Right now, there's only certain people I'd let up here if they tried to come up here, and I doubt they're going to come up.
50 in Prince George's County.
They're busy.
Bay Bridge. You're not hitting the brakes on the eastbound side of the eastbound.
I'm about ready to go freshen up here in a second. Edward Jam. That negates a fucking GED, you dumb fucker. Oh, he's always talking about a general equivalency diploma. He immigrated from some fucked up third world country, right? And he had to qualify for something. He had to get his GED. Oh, you're a real smart one, Edward Jam. No wonder Monica likes you. Fucking dumb as a box of rocks, just like she is. And then Monica thinks blocking me like I'm so sad because Monica blocks me. Oh, it just ruins my day when Monica doesn't unblock me.
The Apple App Store and stay connected. How's it going? When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words.
Sorry, Randy, you play stupid games. I'm not playing your game. You're playing my game.
1-1 immediately. Know the sudden signs.
I make the rules here, Randy. You fat fuck with rash in between all them fat folds. Remember that day you did that to Queen T Royal? Them old fucking T. I bet you're just like that Spalding guy. I bet you can put your nipple in your mouth, Randy. I bet you can. Your fucking shit's sagging that much. Fucking fat fucker. At least with Charlie, all his is down in his hips. Looks like a pear. You just a fucking fat blob. Your fucking arms are saggy. I'm sure you got stretch marks all over you, Randy.
Nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with all service members and their families. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
I was choosing alcohol. I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that
Randy's probably one of those ones that they just spray some fucking spray on them till after about 4 days they're nice and ripe, and then they finally take a shower.
Every day, men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready.
That's why I'm not going up on her. No. Come over here for a change, bitch. Fuck you. You're so proud to be the first one up here, a different channel to go to. A fucking all bunch of Trump haters. Exactly. There's no debating them. They're not interested in any debate. All they want to do is take screenshots and make fun of you after they change the words that come out of your mouth. That's all they do. Go ahead, use AI. Here's absolute intelligence, you dumb fucks.
And listen on your favorite platform.
Patrick Rowe, I've known about Randy a lot longer than you have, so I know he doesn't. He lives in a fucking trailer on a parking lot for used cars. Oh, look at even Colin. See, here's one of JC's British fucking Blatten crybabies. Oh, Colin, are you calling? Are you here to protect JC from Big Bad Billy? You mad? Are you mad? I say JC married a pedophile. Her own words.
We get Ron DeSantis on the program.
Shut up and listen.
Friday, wasn't it, Mr. Producer? So let's talk about the property tax. He makes a brilliant point. When is your property your property? When is your home your home? You buy a home, let's say you pay off the mortgage, you're retiring, right? And yet you still have to pay property taxes. And the property taxes these days are higher than the mortgage you originally had 30 years before, 20 years before. And because of a change in the federal income tax, a lot of people can't even deduct all of that. They can only deduct part of it. I don't like that. I don't know why we did that. I don't like it at all. But that aside, whether I like it or not, so DeSantis' point, this is why this guy's America's governor. This is why he's way out front to me when it comes to governors, when it comes to conservatism, when it comes to thinking at the state level. There's simply nobody better. They have no income tax. How many states with no income tax have a governor that says, well, we got to deal with the property tax too? And by the way, we don't raise your property tax. These counties do. But still, the state needs to do something since basically the counties belong to the state, even though the state doesn't control their taxes. So it's brilliant. He says, he makes the point. So you've paid off your home. You think you're free and clear. They hand you the title to the house. They take it away from the bank or the mortgage company, usually a bank. And now you've got this huge property tax, huge. Your local school board, your local city council or town supervisors, whatever the hell they are, they just keep voting, raising the taxes. Now, if you're in your golden years, as they call them, and if you're retired or near retirement, or let's say you want to work, you still work, but you don't earn a ton.
Colin, why do you retract your messages? What a dumb fucker this guy is.
That property tax, you lose your home. Or you have to move.
Colin has everybody in my chat blocked. He's posting messages and then he's retracting them, putting periods down. What do you want me to do? Time you out, Colin, or something, or what?
Now, even after you've paid off your debt, you have to move. Crazy, isn't it? When you really think about it?
Bye-bye, you stupid drunk.
The answer is yes, it is crazy. It's outrageous.
Ignorant fucks.
I don't hear Governor Youngkin.
You British people really need to mind your fucking manners.
Talking about that. Many of you can identify with what I'm going to say, as I said it to Governor DeSantis. It's not a matter of what I earn or anybody else earns. What matters here is who's making these decisions and what they're doing. I don't know what the people around me earn. I can tell you in Virginia, most of them do not earn what I earn. They live in nice homes. They work hard. They get up when the sun rises. They come home after the sun goes down. Many of them work weekends. Good people, hardworking people. They pay their taxes. Well, on our street, a few years ago, they came up with a whole new nomenclature, the River District. Because 25 years ago, our homes were built on the Potomac River. And by the way, there's pluses and minuses with that, Mr. Producer. You ever see a copperhead? Well, I've seen them twice in my house. Twice. But that's beside the point. You ever see a massive snapping turtle that's like 2 feet long? Seriously. I've seen them. One was right in front of my garage. I had to wait for the damn thing to move because they'll bite your hand off. You know what's an ugly, ugly snake? The water moccasin. You ever have one of those on your patio, Mr. Producer? They have like a pointed head? Okay, that's the River District.
The geese are here today.
So they decided that land's more valuable.
You done any
Now, before President Trump came into office and all these people are getting laid off outside of the city, even though I'm 35 miles away from Washington, D.C., they jacked up the assessments. They jacked them way up.
We have water moccasins here, but they're not poisonous. Great big giant black snake. They get big.
Down in my home. I could never get.
They eat frogs and rodents, whatever.
For my home, the value that they placed on it. I don't have time to go through the appeal process.
EQ.
Lose anyway.
Crazy fucker.
They're experts. The government decides if the government's right or wrong. Pretty neat, don't you think? The government decides if the government's right or wrong. And so I'm going to pay this enormous increase in taxes on a home that's not worth what they say it's worth, because the values have actually gone down as a result of what's happened with the federal. And I'm fine with that. It is what it is. But I don't like getting ripped off. And this is Loudoun County, Virginia, which throws all this money at its schools. Can't throw it enough. The sheriff's office, they don't get paid very much. We rely on a pretty much an all-volunteer fire department. Emergency personnel, those guys don't get paid much. But the schools, baby, they get anything and everything they want.
I might be convinced that evil McDonald, that is logical. That is logical. Hiding. That's logic. That's Patrick Francis Callahan.
The crap that they teach him is beyond belief.
You don't dare come in here.
Remember all that took place in Loudoun County? He's transitioning. No, he molested my daughter. We moved him to another school. Then he molests another daughter. He's transitioning.
Holy fuck. I didn't even take the fucking picture.
Anyway.
This fucker's taking a picture.
DeSantis says, look, there's something morally wrong.
Holy fuck, I hate that.
When you pay off your mortgage, you've paid your whole life, you're free and clear, you have
Jesus Christ, I wanted to make a fucking
but
comment.
You're still paying. You're paying I mean, the town, the county might as well be a
Oh, geez, Owls, I wonder who you are. Duh.
manager of an apartment complex, because that's how you're treated.
You're a punk, Patrick Francis Callahan. You're not a genius. Dwayne's blocking me. You know what?
Did you get those, Mr. Producer?
Why is Dwayne blocking me? Why are all your people blocking me there, fucktard? Logical? You got JC's chat to yourself. She's begging me to come up on her panel. I'll never go on her panel again. Fuck her. She owes me here. JC owes me a visit. Fuck her. She don't own this community. She's not the only one who's international. We're all international. Now he copies everything I do. He's mad about the names I come up with, especially for him. Fucking log-licking motherfucker.
I know, wait a minute, he decided to run.
The log lickers. That's what their team should be called.
People run all the time. Rubio ran, and now he's Secretary of State. So what? Trump beat them, and he was going to beat all of them. Didn't matter. That hasn't stopped people from flocking to Florida, has it? No. That hasn't stopped the people in Florida who voted for Trump taking advantage of the policies and otherwise that DeSantis has put in place. No. They like him. They like the policies. And so do I. And so do I. But there's something about the property tax and this inheritance tax and all these other taxes. So when I hear this Hakeem Jeffrey, oh, they want to destroy Medicaid. Oh, they want to destroy. Shut up, you idiot. You moron. They're already destroying Medicaid. Why are illegal aliens on Medicaid? Is that okay with you? Hakeem? May I call you Hakeem? Hakeem? I just did. Hakeem. That's the Yiddish for Hakeem, Mr. Producer. But the gut off. Or it could be German, you know. Germans are good with the gut off.
I swear to God, he listens to me because I'm always saying Yiddish. That's the first time I've heard him say it.
And if you're like tens of thousands.
He said it earlier.
American Finance talks to thousands every month.
Yo, lady. Ooh.
Drowning in high interest.
I can't get that high, so I don't try.
And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You have no control of it. It's been done to you. Inflation is rough. If you're still carrying credit card balances with 20,
are you Yiddish?
30%,
are you Polish like me? Because I'm Yiddish.
You're doing the one thing that could turn it all.
Only from a long time ago. I was born here. I didn't immigrate.
You're not talking about using your equity to go on vacation. You're not talking about using your equity to buy a Maserati. You're talking about using an equity to pay off the high interest loan so you can save money every month. That's different. That's different. American financing is helping. Would you trade 10 minutes for a shot at saving an average of $800 a month? Would you? I think you might. American financing can help you. Trade 10 minutes for a shot at saving an average of $800 every single month, $10,000 a year, because that's exactly what homeowners are doing when they call American Financing. Simple, no obligation call to change everything. And with no obligation, they will tell you how much you can save. They have a team of salary-based mortgage consultants. There isn't any incentive to put a loan that doesn't make it.
I hate to cut everybody off, but I'm going to take a break and come back later.
There's no upfront fees to find out how much you can
Monday
save.
night.
As I said, you can call them and they'll just tell you.
My pastor called me. He wants me to go to Malone with him tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
Immediately start saving.
So it's a nice ride into the mountains. Tightest mountain. It's been 50 degrees here today. Try. I walked to the store earlier. It's nice out.
28, 888-900-1828. Hello. 888-900.
Well, I'll do last call. Anybody want to come up? If they want to take a minute and say something, I'm gonna leave because I can.
Be right back.
Making 75 years of research, 75 years of policy.
Whipperman don't climb no mountain. The only way he gets up on a mountain is getting in a fucking chairlift. Anybody can ski down a hill. Skiing down the hills, that's the easiest part. Whipperman. You should time you out just for saying his name. Biggest fucking dork out here. That fucker claimed we didn't have any ski slopes over 5,000 feet. What a dumb fuck. Go to Aspen, Colorado. Now we have a football athletic stadium called Mile High. A mile is 5,280 feet. What a dumb fuck. I really care about LD and Tiffany. I don't care about them. And Tiffany's fucking bonehead. Dumb fuck. She turned me in for restreaming her. I just being friendly. You know? But she takes things way too seriously. I guess I wasn't nice enough to her. I said she looks like a boy in the face. Well, she does look like a boy in the face. Lots of women look like boys in the face. Thank God you look like CV. She ain't got no fucking teeth. And JC thinks I'm jealous. Well, I was darn what I look like. He's saying me. That guy who's fucking blind in one eye and too drunk to see out of the other eye. Just. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. I'll be back later. I got things to do in the morning, so I don't want to stay up late tonight.
Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars